Salutations, this is Crazed Kitsune, aka Khuma'zi Tayuun, and welcome to Dark Knight for Dummies, level 50. In this video, I will be explaining the basics of how to play a Dark Knight and not royally screw it up. Hopefully. To start off, how do you become a Dark Knight? Dark Knight is one of the 3 jobs added in the Heavensward expansion. In order to unlock Dark Knight, you need to have access to the city of Ishgard. To get into Ishgard, you have to complete the A Realm Reborn main scenario all the way through patch 2.55, I believe it is. Once you are legitimately in Ishgard and have completed the main scenario quest that lets you in, the quest for Dark Knight will become available. I cannot remember if the quest is picked up in Foundations or Pillar, but it is picked up from an Ishgardian citizen of some sort. It won't be hard to find it. And with that covered, what is a Dark Knight? Dark Knight is a tank. You are a large, beefy wall of health and defense who exists to hold the attention of enemies so your party doesn't get slaughtered by them. Apologies for the clicking in the video, that's me muting my mic whenever I have to hawk a loogie, because my throat hates me. Now, as a tank, your damage stat is strength, but far more important is vitality. Vitality controls how much health you have, and you want a lot of HP, because you're going to need to take a beating. Sometimes a very, very heavy beating. So you need lots of health. As you can see, I have 27,330 HP. I could probably have more, but I don't have the best gear possible. Anyway, another stat which is important to tanks is tenacity. This stat affects the damage you do, it affects the damage you take, and it affects how much you heal. The more tenacity, the better, because you do more, take less, and heal more. All of which you want. So you want as much vitality and tenacity as you can get your hands on. With all of that covered, let's get into the actions and traits. As a pure job, Dark Knight has no class actions. At level 20, you have Enhanced Vitality, which gives you 8 more Vitality, which is more health. At level 40, you have Enhanced Vitality 2, which gives you 16 Vitality, even more health. And that's it for up to level 50. On to the job skills. We start with Hard Slash, a global cooldown weapon skill, global cooldown being 2.5 seconds. This skill costs 60 TP and is a potency 160 melee attack. It's your default attack that you will be using as part of your rotation. At level 4, you have Spinning Slash, another global cooldown weapon skill, 60 TP. It has a base potency of 100 and the additional effect of increased enmity, meaning when you use this, you get extra hate compared to other skills. It also has a combo action with Hard Slash, so if you use Hard Slash, then Spinning Slash, it's a potency 220 attack instead. At level 6, you obtain Unleash, a global cooldown instant spell that costs 795 MP at level 60. It has a 5 yalm radius around you. It is a potency 50 AoE with increased enmity. This is what you use to hold hate on groups while you're either focusing them down one by one or they're being AoE'd down. Either way, you use this to hold hate on multiple targets at once. At level 10, you acquire Siphon Strike, which is a global cooldown weapon skill that costs 60 TP. Its base potency is 100, and you see a Dark Arts potency. Dark Arts is a skill that you get in a little while, but I will cover what it does to your skills as I get to the skills. With Dark Arts, it will be a potency 240 attack. Its combo action is Hard Slash, meaning both it and Spinning Slash come off of Hard Slash. Its combo potency is 250. Its Dark Arts combo potency is 390. And it has a combo bonus of restoring your MP. It restores more MP if you are under the effect of Grit, which is another skill I will be getting to in a little bit. Dark Arts will fade as soon as you use Siphon Strike if you activated Dark Arts. At level 15, you have Unmend. This is a global cooldown ranged spell that costs 353 MP at level 60. It is instant cast, and it is a potency 150 attack with increased enmity. It has longer range because you use this to pull a group of enemies. You will throw it at your initial target and then run up to the enemies and start doing your thing. It also has a 30% chance to cause your next Unleash to cost no MP. If this effect triggers, you will have 15 seconds to use your free Unleash. At level 18, you acquire Blood Weapon. This is a 40-second cooldown. What it does is give you a 10% haste effect, convert some of the physical damage you deal into MP, and reduces the TP cost of your weapon skills by 20% for 15 seconds. You cannot use this while you are under the effects of Grit. At level 26, you acquire Power Slash. This is a global cooldown weapon skill with a TP cost of 60. Its base potency is 100, it has increased enmity, meaning it is another hate skill. Its combo action is Spinning Slash, so you would use Hard Slash into Spinning Slash into Power Slash. This is your hate combo. Its combo potency is 300. And it has an additional effect when comboed if you activate Dark Arts, which is that it will have even more enmity. And upon execution, Dark Arts will fade. There may be times when you will need a little extra hate, so you might Dark Arts your Power Slash. In the past, I haven't needed it. I don't know if I will in Stormblood. At level 30, which is the starting level of Dark Knight, you will obtain through a job quest Dark Arts, but let's cover Grit first. Grit is part of your global cooldown. At level 60, it costs 1,326 MP, and once turned on, it will remain active until you use it again. It will reduce the damage you take by 20%, as well as reduce the damage you do by 20%. Why would you want this? Because it increases the enmity you generate. Everything you do will produce more hate if you have Grit up. And you should have Grit up if you are the tank. If you're wondering, well, then I'm doing less damage. I'm going to have a harder time holding hate. That is why you have Darkside. Darkside is a 5-second recast ability. It costs 442 MP at level 60. And it increases the damage you deal by 20%. Nullifying Grit's damage reduction, allowing you to do normal damage, while still taking less damage and producing more hate. If you are not the main tank, you're still going to want to have Darkside up, because then with Grit off, you're doing 20% more damage than normal, allowing you to be a DPSing off tank until a tank swap might be required. We'll cover tank swaps in a little while. However, while Darkside is up, your MP will not regenerate during combat, and you cannot receive MP refresh effects. The effect will end upon reusing Darkside. Now, as you recall, Siphon Strike gives you back MP, and it gives you back more if you're in Grit. Using Siphon Strike is how you keep your MP up while using your MP-consuming skills. Well, it's one of them. At level 35, we have a job quest which gives us Blood Price, a 40-second cooldown which will restore some of your MP every time you take damage for 15 seconds. You can only use Blood Price if you have Grit active, which is another reason to be in Grit all the time if you are a tank. At level 38, you acquire Soul Eater, which is a global cooldown weapon skill. It costs 50 TP, its base potency is 100, its Dark Arts potency is 240. It combos off of Siphon Strike, which thus gives you a second combo. Its combo potency is 280, and its Dark Arts combo potency is 420. If you are in Grit, it gains a Grit combo bonus, converting some of the damage it deals into healing. And it will consume Dark Arts if you have it active when you use it. Essentially, when you're doing your MP maintenance with Siphon Strike, you will finish off with Soul Eater for some extra damage and some healing. If you are the off-tank, you're just using the Soul Eater combo. You don't need to use your Enmity combo because this combo does more damage. Just period, it does more damage. Especially since you'll be Dark Artsing it fairly often. At level 40, you get a job quest that gives you Dark Passenger. This is a 30-second cooldown ability that has a 10 yalm range, and the radius is deceptive. It is a 10 yalm long linear attack. It costs 1,768 MP at level 60. It is a potency 100 attack to everything in a line in front of you. You can only use it if you are in Dark Side. If you use Dark Arts and then use it, its potency is 240, and it applies a 15-second blind, and will consume your Dark Arts. At level 42, you acquire Dark Mind, a 60-second cooldown which gives you a 10-second buff. For that 10 seconds, you will take 15% less magic damage. You can only use Dark Mind if you have Dark Side up. So, no matter what, you want Dark Side on. If you use Dark Arts, that doubles the magic damage reduction from 15% to 30% and consumes your Dark Arts. At level 45, we have a job quest that gives us Dark Arts. This is a 2-second recast ability that costs 1,768 MP. Once executed, it gives you a 10-second buff, which will be consumed upon using any of the abilities that benefit from having Dark Arts active. And the benefit is that it makes them more powerful in some way, generally by just flat out increasing their damage potency. You can only use it if you have Dark Side active, and if you turn off Dark Side, you will lose your Dark Arts if you had it on. At level 46, you acquire Shadow Wall, a 3-minute cooldown that reduces the damage you take by 30% for 10 seconds. This is used for surviving big hits or just surviving large fights. At level 50, you acquire Living Dead. This is a 5-minute cooldown. Yes, if you use this, you can't use it again for 5 whole minutes. Once activated, for the next 10 seconds, if your HP would be reduced to 0, you instead enter the Walking Dead state. If you enter Walking Dead, you will be in the Walking Dead state for 10 seconds. While you are in this state, your HP, almost nothing, can kill you. You will remain at 1 HP. There are some attacks that can kill you, but those are generally raid-wide wipes that kill everybody anyway. However, if you do not receive healing equaling 100% of your health before those 10 seconds are up, you will die. if you receive 100% healing, then you will exit Walking Dead and will be just completely normal again. This is a death denial skill. You may still die even after you use this if your healer or healers in an 8-man party can't get your health back to full. But all healers should be able to do this. Like, an Astrologian may have to push a little bit, but they should be able to pull it off if they've got the gear and they know their skills. But that covers Dark Knight's abilities up to level 50. Now let's look at role actions. As a tank, they share their role actions with Paladin and Warrior. Once unlocked, a role action slot does appear to be permanently available to you even if you are level synced to below the level it's unlocked at. And once you have learned a role action, you have access to it at all times as long as it's in one of your role action slots. At level 8, you learn Rampart, a 90-second cooldown that will make you take 20% less damage for 20 seconds. This is very useful, and I recommend you take this role action. At level 12, you obtain Low Blow, a 25-second cooldown which applies a 5-second stun. If you need to stun something, you're going to want this. If you don't need to stun things, you don't need it. At level 16, you acquire Provoke. This is a 40-second cooldown, and it has a 25 yalm range. It's got a longer range than anything else you've got. What this skill does is it places you at the top of your target's hate list. It does not actually give you any hate. It's as if you face-pulled this enemy. So literally any action that generates hate on that thing will put someone else above you. But if you immediately follow it with the hate-boosting skill, like, say, Unmend, you can solidify yourself at the top of their list. There are a few uses for Provoke. The chief use for Provoke is aggro reclamation. Somebody managed to rip an enemy off of you, and you need to get it back. So you provoke Unmend, and then maybe throw a hate combo on it. But there is another use. This will only occur in full parties, which are 8-man parties where you have 2 tanks. Some fights are going to require a tank swap, where, for one reason or another, you need to take over being main tank, or someone needs to take it over from you. When you tank swap, the new tank uses Provoke, and the old tank stops using their hate skills and allows the new tank to take over. At level 20, you acquire Convalescence, a 2-minute cooldown which gives you a 20-second buff. For those 20 seconds, all healing magic that affects you will be 20% more powerful. At level 24, you get Anticipation, a 60-second cooldown that increases your parry rate by 30% for 20 seconds, effectively reducing the damage you take by increasing the amount of times you parry. At level 32, you obtain Reprisal, a 60-second cooldown which applies a 5-second debuff to your target. During those 5 seconds, they deal 10% less damage. Good for a tank buster. At level 36, you gain Awareness, a 2-minute cooldown that for the next 25 seconds makes you immune to critical hits. At level 40, you gain Interject, a 30-second cooldown that is a 1-second silence. If you need to stop something from casting a spell, you may need to bring along Interject to silence them. You can't cast if you can't speak. At level 44, you gain Ultimatum. This is a 5 yalm radius 90-second cooldown ability. This is AoE Provoke. If you need to take the hate of a bunch of enemies all at once, you use this and then follow it with an area hate generating skill. For Dark Knight, that would be Unleash. And lastly, at level 48, we have Shirk. This has a 25 Yalm range. It is a 2-minute cooldown, and what it does is it just shifts 25% of your enemy onto the party member you're targeting. This can be used to make a tank swap much easier. The off-tank provokes while you shirk onto the off-tank. And everybody wins. Because they just gained 25% of your enmity while being at the top of the hate list. Nice big jump to the lead, eh? I only have 4 role actions currently slotted in because I haven't figured out if I want a 5th or what the 5th should be. Odds are the 5th slot will be something I shift based on what's needed. Possibly the 4th slot too. With that, it's time to go demonstrate the actions and your general rotations. Now, in the bottom right there, you can see my blood gauge, as it's called. Right now, it only serves one real purpose, and that's to let you know whether or not you're in grit. So I'm going to turn on Dark Side here, and then I'm going to turn on grit. See that spinny glow, that spinny blue glow? That means I'm in grit. Now, when I'm tanking, I stay in grit, and I never leave it. I believe with optimal, you're supposed to turn off your grit for increased damage once you've got some nice established hate. I prefer to just make sure I always have all the hate all the time, every time. That's just me. Now, let's see here. Blood price is not going to be of any use here, so I'm just going to activate it now. There, that's what blood price looks like. And I'm pretty sure if I turn off grit, yeah, blood price falls off. Here's blood weapon. While blood weapon is up, I attack faster, my weapon skills use less TP, and they give me back MP. Now, let's see. This is Rampart, so I'm taking 20% less damage. This is Shadow Wall. I'm taking an additional 30% less. I believe they actually stack and combine to make me take 50% less damage. Dark Mind, I take 15% less magic damage. If I'd used Dark Arts here and then Dark Mind, that would be 30% less damage. You cannot kill me! Hey you. Hate me. All of you. Hate me! I believe that's all of the role actions except for, oh, yes, Reprisal. You, do less damage. Whee! Yeah, those are the role actions and my cooldowns. As you may have noticed, Dark Knight has basically no offensive cooldowns. It's all about defense and maintenance. Now, this is what Unmend looks like. It's your ranged pull. This is Unleash. This is your area hate. Hard Slash. Spinning Slash. Power Slash. Hard Slash. Dark Arts. Spinning Slash. Power Slash. Hard Slash into Siphon Strike to get back MP, and then a Soul Eater to finish the combo. Now, Dark Arts, Dark Mind, I take 30% less magic damage. Let's recover that MP I just used up. Now, Dark Passenger, normal left form. Not very impressive. And I won't be able to demonstrate it again for a little while. So let's recover my MP. Then Hard Slash, Dark Arts, Siphon Strike, Dark Arts, Soul Eater, Hard Slash, Siphon Strike, Dark Arts, Soul Eater. As you can see, if I'm Dark Artsing a lot, I'm using up a lot of MP. More than I'm recovering. Now, in an actual fight, I'd have Blood Price to help mitigate this more than just using Siphon Strike. But right now, all I have is Siphon Strike. Alright, and now, Dark Arts, Dark Passenger! Yeah, that did more damage and blinded the things. And yes, that did use up a huge chunk of my MP. Managing your MP is one of the central elements of Dark Knight. Because you're going to want to have the MP to use your MP using skills, and you're going to want to use your MP using skills for their massive murderous power. And as you can see, if you don't have the MP to use an MP-consuming skill, you can't use that skill. But that is Dark Arts rotations. If you're a main tank, you're going to be using your hate combo fairly regularly, combining it with your Dark Arts and things like Dark Passenger for extra damage, or Dark Artsing your Siphon Strike and Soul Eater combo in order to deal more damage with that, or Dark Arts your Dark Mind to reduce how much damage you take from magic. In higher levels, there will be even more things that you need Dark Arts for. But as it is now, that's everything there is to Dark Knight. You have 2 combos that you will use in a generalized rotation. When you have plenty of hate, you can use your more damage-heavy combo for a while. In fact, if you've solidified your hate well enough, you can sometimes hold hate with your damage combo. It's rather hilarious. Dark Knights generate some of the best hate in the game from what I remember. This may have changed with the Stormblood update. But if it hasn't, Dark Knight has some of the best hate generation that exists. It can be very hard to rip off of a Dark Knight who's actively trying to hold hate. With the skills all covered and demonstrated, and you've gotten to see the elegant brutality of the massive greatsword, I think that's it for this video. I hope it's been informative and helpful to you. If not, well, don't say it to my face. I might cut off your head. I am a Dark Knight. I am the Edgelord. Rawr. Until my next video, goodbye.